Hallo, ich bin der GameMop und ja, ich habe jetzt doch mich dazu entschlossen, noch einen Teil aufzunehmen und den dann direkt am Tag nach dem vorigen hochzuladen, weil jetzt in diesem Teil werde ich das Spiel jetzt ziemlich durchspielen. So, ich muss natürlich nur kurz die Aufnahme ausschalten, beziehungsweise nicht die Aufnahme, aber die Vorschau. Ach doch, jetzt geht's so. Genau. Wir sind immer noch hier und müssen herausfinden, wer das 5. Opfer gewesen wäre, wenn es denn eins gegeben hätte. Warum das ist, das wird sich, glaube ich, noch erschließen.
You've to move your little camp elsewhere, got it? This is a decent district. We need no filth folk bumming about.
Gentle, there's no...
Gut zu wissen, so.
Let's keep our calm.
Our calm is exactly what you disturb. You? What do you want?
To talk.
Here, that's a waste of breath. We've tried it, only to tire our lips. We'll use other means of persuasion now.
Gentlemen, calm, please.
Either get out along with these flea-ridden vagabonds, or we'll toss you all out. Our patience is gone. This place is no longer a rank refuse dump.
Scram! Decent folk live here.
Aha, das eskaliert ja schnell.
The shelter, them living here, bothers you. Question is why.
Look, Ballard. Another defender of the poor, fighter for justice.
Damn nuisance. We've our women and young folk living next door, when even grown men fear to walk past such rabble.
Decent folk you mention. Mean yourselves?
Why? Do you doubt it?
Hell yes.
Hear that, Artois? He poking insults us. On our own turf.
We should step aside, good fellow. My friend is perfectly capable of settling this unfortunate dispute on his own.
Witcher! Fucking twit. Not a witcher.
My guns and fear.
Well, how long you gonna make me wait?
Jesus, that hurt. Grey-haired
Gute.
puppy-nobber.
Ich wurde eingekesselt, es war nicht sonderlich intelligent.
All right. I can take a hint. Come, time to go.
I thank you so much for your aid. I tried to reason with them, but they'd have beat me blue had you not come along. I'm grateful. Immensely.
What did they want from you?
They are neighbors. Wish me to take my folk, the shelter, elsewhere. They dislike that I help the beggars. I do not oppose going elsewhere were we to have somewhere to go. But you've come with a problem, have you? My turn to aid you.
What is this place? Poorhouse?
You could call it that. They come here to rest and eat a hot meal.
You help them, why?
Because they need help.
Need some information. Looking for a man who might have mentioned the bootblack in Rue de Garl.
The bootblack. A feisty lad. I know him.
Any of your, wards supposed to meet him recently or soon?
Forgive me. Those I help and I are not so close that I would know. But should you wait? They'll all soon come for their meal. You can question them yourselves.
Sure all your usual beggars will be here?
They're not obliged to come, of course. But they rarely find a decent meal elsewhere. So, almost all in the area eat here.
Thanks. We'll wait. Nice of you to let us.
My dears, I've a matter to address before I serve the soup. These two gentlemen have some questions of you. Pay attention. Answer in brief. For if you draw it out, your soup will go cold. And we wouldn't want that, would we?
Recently, 4 of you delivered sealed letters to the bootblack. I know this.
Does anyone know what the gentleman means? Go on, speak up. Romain?
Why should I squeal? We were all told not to mention the letters. We all swore.
You can tell me, Romain. You were given a letter and you delivered it, right? Good work, Romain. Thank you. Who else?
I got one too. Gave it to the bootblack. And Freshie, he got one. But he can't tell you, as he's not here.
I still have mine. I'm to deliver it 2 days after the Feast of St. Barnabas.
Ach, St. Barnabas. Okay, ich glaube, das ist... Die Frage ist, was ist der Unterschied bei den Antworten?
It's a matter of importance to the duchy. Hand it over, or I'll take it from you, plain and simple.
But I was to deliver it personally. Let no one else see it. That is what she said, and she was frightening.
You ought to heed folk who are kind and honest. These men helped me a short while ago, helped all of us. If this individual threatened you, you need not keep the promise you made.
All right, take it. I didn't want to see the bootblack anyways. It's always muddy there.
Damn it.
What is it? Another name, truly?
See for yourself.
Well. I must say, even I did not expect this. This time you will see to our Duchessa. It seems we underestimated Sienna rather grossly.
Judging by this, Detloff was literally supposed to tear her heart out.
Yet first you must snap her neck. Puzzling.
Ja, das ist aber tatsächlich, ich wollte gerade sagen, das ist jetzt dahinter Gnade, aber das klingt auch nicht sehr nett.
Puzzle complete now.
Alas, the matter ceased to be a tantalizing brain tease and has turned incredibly grave. We've proof of a plot to assassinate Toussaint's ruler. We've proof of a coup d'etat.
Duchess was to be Detloff's last victim. Sienna planned it from the start.
Indeed. The logical conclusion, Geralt.
4 seemingly random victims to start. The virtue's their only link. Enough to get folk talking about a righteous, vengeful beast. Obscured the victims' links to Sienna, even as she had those she despised killed off one by one, leaving the Duchess for last.
Had she managed to fulfill her plan, none would have questioned the reasons. Most would have thought Anna Henrietta had died for her sins. She was known to show a hard heart on many occasions. ample proof of a lack of compassion.
Why would Sienna murder her own sister? Out of envy? To take power? From an inborn penchant for evil?
Yes, yes, and yes. All seem likely, and none are mutually exclusive. But if you'd like to know for certain, you can always ask her yourself.
Actually, love to learn her motives.
Praiseworthy, I suppose. Sometimes one should stare evil in the face.
Seems a bit strong, no?
She used my friend as her tool for killing. I believe I've every right to condemn her, but I support your lust for the truth. Some philosophers think empirical examination the sole path to knowledge. I believe you mentioned the Duchess keeps Sienna locked up.
Courtiers were insisting on a harsher punishment. Much harsher. Think Anna Henrietta had to protect her sister from a lynch mob as much as she wanted to protect her subjects from a criminal. One way or another, she's locked away in a secluded wing of the palace, awaiting trial before a court of law. I'd need to get past some guards to see her. Coming with?
Of course not. I shall await you at Mare la Chaise-Longue. I'll not risk entering the palace after Dettlaff and his minions rampage. Besides, I vastly prefer the company of a simple mug of mandrake brew to that of the Duchess's vile sister.
So, said straight up, it means you're going off to get drunk because you hate Sienna.
I've never been fond of categorical statements of that kind, but I admit I could not vouch for my behavior in her presence. She treated Dettlaff cruelly, caused his death in the end, and now this? Atop all that? No, Geralt. I will not go with you. I will await you at the cemetery.
Sehr interessant. So, jetzt werde ich aber erstmal speichern. Das kann nämlich nie schaden. Dann werde ich tatsächlich auch kurz... Okay. Ich war schon wieder...
Oh, a witcher. What mincemeat.
Okay, das war jetzt... komisch. Egal.
Lepiotus lips. My legs are...
Ach, da liegen immer noch die Leichen rum von dem einen Gemetzel. Unauffällig. Ja, es gibt einige verschiedene Arten, wie das Ganze enden kann, was eigentlich ganz interessant ist. Da werde ich später auch nochmal kurz drauf eingehen, aber ich werde das nicht nochmal dann spielen, um die anderen Enden freizuschalten.
Pardon me.
So, what's it gonna be?
Der ist ganz schön fit, wenn er da durchsprintet.
Ah! Shoop, dum, da, re, re, shoop.
Das ist ganz schön weit. Ist aber verteidigungstechnisch nicht blöd, wenn das da so steil hochgeht.
Halt!
Need to see Sienna, urgently.
In the matter of?
Want to talk to her. It's important.
Want to talk? Go see your gran at tea time. Not one locked up on the Duchess's orders. No doing without special permission. Period.
Found some information important to her case. Need an explanation, urgently.
Ah, fine then. You're that witcher who solved the murders, no? Then you've my permission, but only for a few minutes.
Promise to be brief.
Ich habe jetzt extra die erste Antwort nicht genommen. Weil das tatsächlich doch eigentlich unlogisch gewesen wäre, sie noch schlechter dastehen zu lassen.
The witcher will speak with the inmate. You can take a momentary break.
As long as it's truly but a moment. Highly irregular, this.
Have you come to see how I fare? I'm fine, thank you. Artorius' ribbon worked wonders. It's a shame they took it from me.
I know who the fifth victim was supposed to be.
Goodness, you're simply a compulsive snoop. I'm in prison. Detlef is dead. Could you not just drop it?
Sienna, stop pretending you couldn't care less. I know it's an act, and it's really starting to wear. Why do you want to kill her?
For such an accomplished investigator to ask about the obvious? Come now, Geralt. Why do you think?
Das ist doch ganz einfach. Die einzige logische Antwort ist natürlich...
Because she turned her back on you, then banished all memory of you?
Bravo, Geralt. Yet another riddle solved, and your sick curiosity sated. Well, what now? Off to share your discovery with Anna Henrietta? No, she's no longer in danger, true. But she very well might add a little something to your reward.
Definitely gonna tell her. Not necessarily for the coin, though.
Then why do it at all?
She ought to know. If only 'cause you'll probably try to kill her again if she ever lets you out.
I probably will.
Perhaps, just for a second, you could stop dwelling on all the wrongs folk have done you and forgive her.
Why should I?
For old time's sake. You loved each other once.
Please. I don't know who fed you that rubbish, but...
Read your governess's diary. You played together, were inseparable. Henriette'd get you into trouble sometimes, sure. But there were also times she stood up for you. When you had nightmares, only she could calm you. Time eats away at memories, distorts them. Sometimes we only remember the good. Sometimes only the bad.
If she loved me so, why did she wash her hands off me? Forget me,
Das ist jetzt tatsächlich eine sehr gute Frage. Aber ich würde sagen...
Sienna, you were exiled when she was how old? 12? 13? She was a child. What was she supposed to do? Rebel? Organize a coup? Steal your father's seal and forge a pardon? She was powerless. Wiped you from her memory not because she didn't care, but because your departure was traumatic for her. She forgot because that was the only way she could handle the pain.
Ugh. You meant what you said in the Land of 1,000 Fables. You really want a happy ending to this story, don't you? Ah, with all of us living happily ever after. Go, Witcher, or they'll give your medal to another. And that would be a shame.
Farewell, Sienna.
Commander de la Tour would like to see you. Shall we go at once?
Let's go. Want to see him too. Damien.
Geralt, it's about time. Ready for the ceremony?
Erstmal einen netten Spruch.
Your face doesn't look good. Though it looked even worse last I saw you.
I apply a balm of arnica. Yeah, I hardly feel it anymore.
Soll ich das sagen oder soll ich es ihm nicht sagen? Das ist tatsächlich eine sehr gute Frage. Ja.
All right, we can start.
Very well. But you must behave. Less like a hired thug, and more like a man deserving of the Duchy's highest honor. In fact, you'd do best to maintain a dignified silence throughout. Let's begin the ceremony. Come with me. The Duchess awaits. In the Guild's name, I beg your assistance, your enlightened highness. Without barrels, production will come to a stop, and it will be the end of us.
You lost them all in the fire. These are horrible tidings. Oh, we are most dreadfully saddened.
Yes, your enlightened highness all. Once the beasts had clawed their way into the warehouse, the whole place went up in flames.
I shall dispatch a palace guardsman to examine the site of the blaze. If things are, as you say, fitting compensation shall be paid from the ducal treasury.
Thank you, your enlightened highness. Your Grace, Geralt of Rivia has arrived.
My dear subjects, we come now to our next point of business. Of all the duties which fall upon my shoulders, as the ruler of this dominion, this duty is dearest to my heart. For now, we shall award the Order of Vitis Vinifera, Tucson's highest honor.
Geralt of Rivia, slayer of the beast of Beauclair, step forth.
We bestow the distinction upon the Witcher, who saved Beauclair from the terrible beast. Such is our desire. May this symbol serve as a reminder to all that the Witcher shall forever remain a friend of Beauclair. In more familiar terms now, I thank you immensely, Geralt. Damien has your reward for you. After all, it was but a contract.
Thank you.
I have a small surprise for you, in addition. I give you more than a dozen barrels of Son Real.
a wine normally reserved for the ducal table. The gustatory experience of a lifetime awaits. Are you content?
Was ist das für eine Auswahlmöglichkeit? Ich kann's kaum erwarten. Es ist mir eine Ehre. Schlechte Neuigkeiten, Siana wollte dich töten. Das klingt so blöd, echt. Also man muss schon echt verkacken, um die Auswahl zu nehmen.
Feels like a second distinction. I'm honored. Thank you.
I trust you shall make good use of it. In a moment I shall speak to Siana. Will you assist me? You returned my sister to me, yet you also showed me her horrendous deeds. As head of state, I must judge her fairly. But she is my sister. Thus my heart bleeds for her.
If my presence will help in any manner, of course I'll stay.
We shall now question a person implicated in the murders which recently ravaged our fair city of Beauclair. Captain de la Tour, show Sylvia Anna in.
Ja, rein ist eigentlich quasi unlogisch, aber ja.
The Witcher will take part in our talk.
The Duchess requested I be present.
You have committed crimes. Grave crimes. Yet you are my sister. And my heart does not allow me to treat you as a common criminal. Thus I have asked Geralt to advise me. As one impartial, I shall now hear what he has to say.
Die Auswahlmöglichkeiten sind schon sehr eindeutig. Ah ja, sie ist schuldig, ich weiß nicht, wichtig. Nee, ich natürlich.
Bitterness consumes Siana. She had cause to resent many of the court of Beauclair. I know her reasons, understand them even. But I can't condone the actions she chose to take.
What is he talking about, Siana?
You know exactly what. I was forcibly exiled, remember? To your benefit. You knew well the throne would then be yours, though I was the elder. The ministers I can understand. They'd hated me since I was a child, thought me a poor prospect for the wife of a duke. I even understand our parents. I'd always sensed the problem. They simply feared me, for I dared to be free. That fabricated curse, it fell into their laps. A gift from above that brought relief. But you... your dagger hurt most. You were my Henrietta, damn it. My darling little sister. Now do you understand, Witcher? She betrayed me.
Claim to understand them all? Why'd you come back for revenge? Have them all cut down then?
They deserved my vengeance. They detested me, all of them, as long as I can remember. But Henrietta understood me. Once. She was all I could cling to. Her betrayal hurt the most.
You were children then. You and your sister both had no control over what happened.
You're wrong, Witcher. She had control. Remember, dear sister, the day they banished me from the palace? Of course, I'd had the idea to pelt the Nilfgaardian envoy with fish bladders, which we filled with rancid suet on a lark. And which you set afire at the last to impress me, I imagine. And I admit, you did. Hit him right in his hideous bald patch. Never laughed so hard in my life. But when it came time to find the culprit, you said not a word. I took all the blame and all the punishment.
It's true. I did not stand up for you. I was too afraid.
The council was unanimous. They listed all my offenses. My flights from the palace, supposed acts of cruelty, inappropriate friendships. They cast me out, but you, the only one to understand me, you cowered in a corner, lifted not a finger to help. Not before, not after. You never tried to find me.
That's not true. I searched for you. Sent out knights, gathered tidings from without. You did not wish to be found. Since the day you vanished, I have lived with the knowledge that I failed you. I'm sorry, dear sister. Can you forgive me?
All in all, best part of the whole ceremony? It was short.
Perhaps for you, as you ducked out early. The others are probably just getting started. The drunkenness never ends in this quaint realm.
Not so fond of Toussaint after all, are we?
Oh, this place is like a strong wine, Geralt. Good in small sips. How do you find my personal brew? Not too strong?
Just right.
Credit the local mandrake of the Alrauna diavolis variety for that. The tubers which grow in this area's volcanic soil have an altogether unique flavor profile and display a remarkably uncommon dark brown tint.
Fascinating. All I can say is this batch turned out excellent.
Indeed. It might be wise to stockpile some roots for the future. Would you care to accompany me?
You decide to go root picking now? It's dark out.
Geralt, even were I generously to assume it had simply slipped your mind that I am a vampire and thus need no light to see, I'd never believe you had also forgotten that you likewise have absolutely no trouble seeing in the dark. So, shall we?
If you think it's a good idea, let's go. But I think you might be forgetting one thing. Fresh mandrake root of this variety is highly toxic, even to a witcher.
Ah, not a problem. I never forget matters of safety and hygiene in alchemy. Here, gloves and a mask. Don them, and you shall be in no danger.
Thanks. Right then, let's go.
Hier lege ich die Maske an, ich bin nicht bekloppt. Sieht gar nicht aus wie ein Schwein.
This it makes me oh so dreamy.
Penny for your thoughts. Let me guess. Succubus twins?
No, I was thinking about, how anything can look interesting when properly lit.
Even an old necrophage corpse?
You've not an ounce of refinement in you, have you?
Now, where'd that bloodsucker go? Won't be easy to track down. He is a vampire, after all.
Regis!
Dann kann ich aber natürlich die Maske lasse ich auf, sieht nett aus. Na, schlechter Witz. So. Dann nehme ich noch... wo ist er denn? Da. Ich habe ein schlechtes Gefühl.
Damn it, where'd you go?
Regis!
Damn it, where'd you go?
I did what I had to do!
Those Bruxay, they called you a traitor.
Alas, we've a very simple code of honor, we vampires. So simple you might call it trivial. Either one is with us, unconditionally, regardless of the circumstances, or...
Won't let it go, will they?
They will not. Fortunately, we've another rule, an unwritten one, and just as trivial as the first. It is neatly summarized in the saying, out of sight, out of mind. That is why I must leave Toussaint. For a vastly long time, most like.
Yeah, I get it.
Let us make for my camp. I've an overwhelming desire to have another drink. Supreme bouquet. Firm, defined beginning, then develops gently, rising to a startling finish. Don't you think?
Not much of a connoisseur.
Then it is high time you started your education. After all, the Corvo Bianco vineyard is now yours. By the way, I left a gift for you at your new home, on the nightstand.
Thanks. Mind telling me what it is?
A trifle. That will nonetheless be useful should you need mutagens. Incidentally, have you thought about what you'll do with your prize? Shall you hang your swords over the mantle and take to pruning vines?
Das ist tatsächlich eine gute Frage. Niederlassen ist eine Sache. Nein, oder ich weiß es noch nicht. Das ist wohl die logischste Antwort.
Don't really know yet. Might find the life of a hard-working vintner too tempting one day. Or maybe I'll just stick to the path, go on roaming, staring up at the stars after laying my bedroll at the roadside.
Ah, roadsides, bedrolls, and the sky above. I sense some poetry coming on, which of course brings to mind Dandelion. I can remember a night, not too far from here if I'm not mistaken. We hid in a cave while a blizzard raged all about. Does that sound at all familiar?
How could it not? We just set off to rescue Ciri from Vilgefortz.
Oh, our encounter with Vilgefortz. That is something I do not remember so fondly. But that first stay in Beauclair, far calmer than this one.
Seemed like a land straight out of a fairy tale back then. Its sole problem, cellars too small to accommodate all that wine.
Appearances, Geralt. Appearances, like Mamoons and Dopplers, deceive. So what did become of Vilgefortz?
Killed him. Sure wasn't easy, though. What about you? Any idea where you'll go?
Distance is of the essence. I thought I might venture south.
Nilfgaard?
Why ever not? The Nilfgaardians are a modern society. None there believe in vampires anymore. This fact alone could be very useful to one wishing to remain incognito.
Interesting point of view. I so don't feel like going anywhere. Sit here a while longer?
So we shall, my friend. We have witnessed, and in fact on several occasions incited, many great and weighty events. After all that toil, I believe we deserve a bit of a rest.
That we do.
Das, ja, war gut. Ah, okay. Ah ja, genau, da läuft es quasi die normalen Credits so mit der gleichen Animation halt. Ja gut. Ja, also ich muss ganz ehrlich sagen, das ist mal wirklich ein gutes Ende für einen für eine langlaufende Rollenspielreihe. Weswegen ich mir immer noch denke, es gibt ja tatsächlich die Gedanken, dass ein Witcher 4 kommen soll, aber ich weiß nicht, das wird nicht so leicht. Naja. Ja. Dieser Teil, hatte ich ja schon gesagt, den habe ich jetzt aufgenommen, bevor Cyberpunk rausgekommen ist. Und das heißt, ich kann jetzt noch nicht sagen, ob mir das so gut zu sagen wird, obwohl die Spiele kann man einfach rein thematisch nicht vergleichen. Es gibt tatsächlich einen fetten Unterschied in den Enden, und zwar wenn man Detlef am Leben lässt, dann muss Regis nicht Tussor verlassen. Das ist so der eine fette Unterschied, was die Regis Story angeht. Es gibt aber 3 verschiedene quasi Hauptenden der Kampagne, wobei es natürlich viele Unterkategorisierungen und Auswahlmöglichkeiten gibt. Das erste Ende ist, Siana stirbt, Henrietta lebt, was ja wohl relativ klar ist, weil wenn man ihr nicht dieses Bändchen kauft, dann stirbt sie in der einen Zwischensequenz. Dann wird sie von Detlef getötet. Es gibt dann noch das zweite Ende ist halt das gute Ende, also dass beide leben. Und das dritte Ende ist quasi, dass beide sterben. Wie das aber genau funktioniert, das weiß ich auch nicht ganz. Aber das müsste ich mir dann mal... Ich werde dann kurz nochmal probieren, was eigentlich passiert, wenn man sagt, hey, sie hat Mist gebaut, mach sie platt. Ja, ich muss schon sagen, jo. Ich glaube, also.
Actually, I'd love to go home.
Das ist doch so bescheiden. Ach stimmt, es geht ja weiter nach der Sequenz. Theoretisch, man kann ja eigentlich auch weiterspielen. Muss ich tatsächlich überlegen, wo ich da mich am schnellsten auf dem Weg mache. Denn es gibt hier nämlich auch ein... Ja, genau. Ja, man muss sich dieses Ende nicht nochmal anschauen. Stimmt, das hatten sie anders gemacht wie bei anderen Dingern, weil man ja quasi schon die Enden gesehen hat. Man kann natürlich speichern, aber man kann theoretisch auch... Oh, man sollte jetzt speichern können. Jetzt kann man speichern. Weil man kann eigentlich auch weiterspielen, aber ich möchte gern hier den Handlungsstrang jetzt abschließen, bevor ich da...
Master Witcher, some unknown individual barged into the residence. I resisted as best I could, but to no avail.
Who is it?
Alas, they did not do me the basic courtesy of introducing themselves.
Geralt, here at last.
Dandelion? What the hell are you doing here?
I'm not here. I'm a figment of your imagination, because you really want me to be here. Brought you a housewarming gift. It's also an illusion. How do you like it?
War mir das klar.
Makes you look dignified and manlier than in real life.
Does it? The painter's a friend of mine. Could be she gave me slightly broader shoulders? Well, I'm sure.
Don't doubt it. But didn't I see this painting at your place?
This is its perfect replica, and it's yours. To remember me by. Good. So, Geralt, important to remember. If anyone asks, I'm not here. Last time I was in Toussaint, enjoying myself, true, Henrietta, that is, the Duchess, got a little carried away. Banished me from the duchy on pain of death. Wouldn't want to ruffle her feathers without cause.
Wise, especially since she's been through quite a bit recently.
I've heard some rumors, but I'd love a first-hand account. Does it have the makings of a ballad? Well, going to show me around? Tell me the story?
Of course. Let's go. Luckily, Sienna made up with Henrietta. Seems to have abandoned her plans. She's locked up now, awaiting sentencing, really. Most think the Duchess will forgive her. Might take some time, but...
What? A story? Seems I missed quite a lot. Shame I didn't ride here with you. Though, truth be told, had my hands full back home as well.
What's new, old friend?
Everything's fine. Great. Thanks to you, I'm with a woman I'm entirely devoted to. Surrendered my heart to.
Didn't have all that much to do with that.
If you hadn't been there, Priscilla would have died a cruel death. And right about now, I'd be drowning my sorrows in some dive with piss-stained walls.
Hope she's better.
she had the best medics around. Wounds have all healed. She's confident, outgoing. She's got places to go and folk to see. And in the alcove. I mean, can you imagine she...
Dandelion, I can't imagine, and I won't.
All right, but your loss.
Tja.
How's business? You and Zoltan still have your tavern? Or has he embarked on some new venture?
You know him. We'll share a jug of mead and he'll go on about some new plan he's got. Nothing ever comes of it. So, we're still there. Recently, we discovered Novigrad's largest wine importer was a lying cheat, watering down his wines, but so clever, you'd never taste the difference.
So how'd you figure out he was up to something?
This one day I was feeling down in the muck. Decided to lift my spirits by, well, getting a little drunk. Actually, replace a little with really. So I knocked back a bottle, nothing. Then another. Maybe a slight buzz.
Might not be a lightweight anymore. Could be those years of training have finally paid off.
Come on! It took me 5 bottles to start seeing double. I thought, might just be a weird day. So I tried the same thing the next morning. Exact same result. I told Zoltan. He tried it and confirmed my findings. So we decided to ask the importer some tough questions. The man cracked. I threatened to tell everyone about his trickery unless he gave me a discount.
Plan to stay long?
Don't know yet, but might stay a little while. I've always loved Beauclair. The place is made for poets.
What'll you do here?
City's full of knights errant, and they all want ballads immortalizing their deeds. Get this. I've already been approached by a knight who spent years battling the weather. Says he's got a real bone to pick with gusty storms.
Battles the weather? How's that work?
Dunno. Promised to show me when the time was right. There's another who's vowed to move a mountain that's blocking his ailing mother's view of the sunset. So he's moving it. 1 stone at a time. Sole worry is that his mama won't live to see him finish.
You're right. Prime ballad material there. Glad you came. We'll have some good talks. See you later, Dandelion.
See you, Witcher.
Ja, das Witzige ist ja, dass wenn man total Scheiße baut, dass man tatsächlich ihn auf anderem Wege trifft, sagen wir es mal so. Brief von Regis. Lieber Geralt, wenn du dies liest, bin ich schon weit fort von Toussaint. Und du hast meinen Mutagen-Generator gefunden. Du kannst das Instrument natürlich nennen, wie du willst. Vielleicht etwas inhaltlich oder geschmacklich passenderes. Ich zweifle nicht daran, dass dein Wissen über Mutagene das meine bei weitem übersteigt. Ich habe in meiner Freizeit an diesem Gerät gearbeitet. Nun ist es fertig und ich bin von seiner Funktionstüchtigkeit überzeugt. So überzeugt ein Erfinder eben sein kann, bevor seine Erfindung sich bewährt hat. Gewiss fragst du dich, wozu es dient. Wie der Name schon sagt, generiert der Mutagen-Generator Mutagene. Er absorbiert die elektromagnetischen Energiewellen von Körpern, in diesem Fall von Körpern der Monster und Bösewichte, die du tötest, und wenn er hinreichend aufgeladen ist, wandelt er die Energie in ein großes Mutagen um, für das du zweifellos gute Verwendung haben wirst. Leider bin ich Amateur, daher musst du mir vergeben, dass sich der Betrieb des Apparats nicht steuern lässt. Welches Mutagen du erhältst, ist dem Zufall überlassen. Es kann rot, grün oder blau sein. Ich habe allerdings bemerkt, dass sich die Farben meist abwechseln. Gewiss findest du mein Geschenk nützlich. Dein ergebener Freund Emil Regis Rohelek Terzif Godefroy. Oh Gott. PS, du magst dich fragen, warum ich den Mutagen-Generator einfach bei dir abgeladen habe, anstatt ihn dir persönlich zu überreichen. Nun, das tat ich aus Bescheidenheit, ob du es glaubst oder nicht. Alles Gute, Geralt, möge mein Geschenk dir nützen. Ah ja, sehr cool. Genau. Jetzt habe ich, glaube ich, ja, ich habe keine aktive Quest.
Hold on. Was it not you who freed the town from the bloodgutters?
Ich bewege mich jetzt hier rüber. Nochmal einen schönen Blick haben. Werde ich aber den Teil nicht beenden. Ich möchte nämlich was... Also ich werde kurz laden und möchte schauen, was direkt der Unterschied ist. Warte mal, jetzt muss ich tatsächlich gerade überlegen. Hier müsste es gewesen sein. Wenn ich so richtig, wenn ich einfach nur wenn ich einfach an der Hinterräder sage, hey, die wollte ich platt machen.
Halt! Need to see
In the matter of...
Found... Promise.
Ja, bin ich mal gespannt. Ja, also ich muss, ich glaube, ich werde noch ein separates Weilungsvideo machen. Das ist vielleicht besser.
The Witcher will speak with the inmate. You can...
Have you
I know who the... Sienna. Why do you...
Ich möchte nur wissen, was passiert, wenn ich so nur beim letzten Ding so komplett verkack.
Because she...
Brav. Then
She...
I... Why?
Red... Time...
If she...
Well... Sh...
Go.
Come on.
Let's...
Klick.
Damien.
Get...
All right.
Very... In fact... In...
You lost.
Yeah.
I...
Thank...
My... For na... In...
Thank you.
The gust...
I am, and truly grateful, Your Grace. Sadly, I'm afraid I have to sour the mood. It's Sienna. She plotted to have you killed, Duchess. Planned to use Dettlaff. You were to be the beast's 5th victim.
This cannot be true. You're mistaken. You must be.
I have proof.
I do not believe it. In a moment I shall speak to Sienna. Will you assist me? You returned my sister to me, yet what you tell me now I find devastating. I've come to doubt that I can judge her fairly. I'd far prefer to learn you're mistaken, Geralt.
I'm not. In fact, I'd recommend you be particularly careful around her.
You exaggerate, Witcher. She is my sister. I know well how to speak to her.
If my presence will help in any manner, of course I'll stay.
We shall now question a person implicated in the murders which recently ravaged our fair city of Beauclair. Captain de la Tour, show Sylvia Anna in.
Interessant ist, dass der Name auch als Aufteilung existiert.
The Witcher will take part in our talk.
The Duchess requested I be present.
You have committed crimes. Grave crimes. Yet you are my sister, and my heart does not allow me to treat you as a common criminal. Nor does it let me believe you sought my demise. My heart yearns to know you were swayed by the monster Detlef. You yourself would never stoop so low. Thus I have asked Geralt to advise me, as one impartial. I shall now hear what he has to say.
Sagen wir mal, ich bin mal richtig böse.
Your Grace, Sienna's guilt is clear. None have cause to doubt it. But before you decide, you should hear her out. The right to a defense is hers, as it applies to all who stand accused.
What is he talking about, Sienna?
You know exactly what. I was forcibly exiled, remember? To your benefit. You knew well the throne would then be yours, though I was the elder. The ministers I can understand. They'd hated me since I was a child, thought me a poor prospect for the wife of a duke. I even understand our parents. I'd always sensed the problem. They simply feared me, for I dared to be free. That fabricated curse, it fell into their laps. A gift from above that brought relief. But you... Your dagger hurt most. You were my Henrietta, dammit. My darling little sister. Now do you understand, Witcher? She betrayed me.
Die zweite Auswahl ist wurscht in dem Fall.
You were children then. You and your sister both had no control over what happened.
You're wrong, Witcher. She had control. Remember, dear sister, the day they banished me from the palace? Of course, I'd had the idea to pelt the Nilfgaardian envoy with fish bladders, which we filled with rancid suet on a lark, and which you set afire at the last to impress me, I imagine. And I admit, you did. Hit him right in his hideous bald patch. Never laughed so hard in my life. But when it came time to find the culprit, you said not a word. I took all the blame and all the punishment.
It's true. I did not stand up for you. I was too afraid.
The council was unanimous. They listed all my offenses. My flights from the palace, supposed acts of cruelty, inappropriate friendships. They cast me out, but you, the only one to understand me, you cowered in a corner, lifted not a finger to help. Not before, not after. You never tried to find me.
That's not true. I searched for you. Sent out knights, gathered tidings from without. You did not wish to be found. Since the day you vanished, I have lived with the knowledge that I failed you. I'm sorry, dear sister. Can you forgive me?
Aha, das hat doch keine wirkliche Auswirkung. Weil ich hatte jetzt erwartet, dass es eine negative Auswirkung hat. Weil die meisten Lösungen sagen auch, dass man das komplett versauen kann, wenn man in den letzten Szenen das Falsche wählt. Naja.
All in all, best part of the whole ceremony?
Perhaps
Not so fond of Toussaint after all, are we?
Oh, this place is like a...
Ja gut, den Rest kennen wir schon.
How? Just if you bang.
Gut, aber hier beende ich tatsächlich das Let's Play. Es wird noch ein Meinungsvideo geben, was tatsächlich im Endeffekt einfach ist, wie ich separat mache, weil ich möchte das alles mal ein bisschen zusammentragen, was ich dazu noch zu sagen habe. Und ja, ich hoffe, das Let's Play hat gefallen. Mir hat es sehr gefallen. Und wenn ja, dann bitte das nächste Mal wieder einschalten. Zu dem Zeitpunkt, wo dieses Video läuft, sollte ja schon das Cyberpunk Let's Play angefangen haben. Aber ich muss da mal schauen, wie gut das läuft, und ja. Deswegen sage ich bis demnächst. Ja gut, es kommt noch dieses Meinungsvideo, das werde ich gleich zusammen mit diesem Teil hochladen, und ja, gleich ist relativ, noch fast einen Monat hin, also ja. Aber ich kann schon mal vorab sagen, das Ende von der Hauptquest von Plattenwein ist meiner Ansicht nach das Highlight von Witcher 3, also mit Heart of Stones DLC mit eingenommen. Also fand ich von der Präsentation her am besten, wobei die Hauptquest des Grundspiels ja an sich auch schon ausgezeichnet war. Naja, also bis dann. Und noch schönen Weihnachtsfeiertag. Uhaha. Auf der Suche nach dem richtigen Knopf zum Ausschalten.